one more time for the CIE 2025, and I could not be more excited to be here on the desk to go ahead and close out the Valorant tournament here. My name is Orbital. With me is Z-Line. We'll be casting
Woo!
the upcoming Grand Finals BO3. Little adjustment in the schedule due to some players requesting it, so we went ahead and changed it. We are doing a BO3 here on the day, and hopefully gonna have a lot of fun. Z-Lion, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm definitely looking forward to tonight's series. That BO3 Grand Final is going to be between Western and Waterloo Warriors Gold. Both teams did really well in the semifinals. Western against UBC Black, was a clean 2-0, while on the other side, you got Warriors Gold versus SFU Crimson for that semifinals, also cleaning up a 2-0. So both teams coming in the finals super, super strong, and definitely looking forward to who's really going to pull out in front of the other team.
Yep, let's go ahead and take a look at exactly the rosters at hand. Starting off, I believe we went ahead and had Waterloo coming up here. Ha! I know exactly what I'm talking about. Warriors Gold, Justin, Trill, Swashy, P, and Pork.
On the other side, we got the Western team being fielded by GGGG, Top Stacks, Arav, Doggo, as well as Pivers. And we're going to be going on to the maps as well. BO3, the maps are going to be Haven, Lotus, and Ascent. And starting off with Haven, Western's going to start on attack.
I love it. Hey, listen, 3-site maps all day long. Get some variety in there. Screw Split, a sense in there somewhere. And we're okay. We're okay. I just personally like Haven and Lotus, mainly because it does provide some variety. Now, granted, some people will be like, hey, Orbital, no one ever goes to B. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, but it's there. The option is there, and I'll take that all day long.
And not even the option to just go there for a plant, but also option to kind of cut the map in half, and also just for lurkers. It's always been really good. But yeah, let's take a look, and we're going to get into the game real quick now, and really curious on what the compositions are between the team and how they will differ and how they will look the same.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think on the Haven that you normally see is, of course, the Jet, the raises for the DPS. We've seen ISOs tentatively held out as well, but it'll be a test at the end of the day. We got the ciphers, of course. Generally, a cipher on C holds pretty true. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we're not seeing the Vice, but I think the camera and the sightlines does way better. So that's what we're having over right now. Top Stacks running that one. There is a Yoru and a potential for a double duelist if Pivers wants to run the ISO, which they have done in the past. We actually saw them do it, I believe, yesterday in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the kind of story of whether Double Lewis is going to outdo the Double Initiator composition. You have P and Swashy on that, Breach and Sova. I definitely like this. Double Initiator on Haven, in my opinion, is really, really strong, especially with the Breach on defense. You can go for a beautiful stun towards sewers from a link for the peaks over, and can provide a lot of value with the utility. So kind of looking forward to that too.
Let's see if they can pull it off right now. We are diving on in. As we said, we are set. It is the Warriors Gold going up against Western main team, and I, for one, am going to enjoy this quite a bit. We are diving headfirst into the matchup, and as we take a look, we mentioned some of the duelists as well as some of the other agents, but how do we assume this is going to shake out? Because we saw the side of Western. They were shaky, let's be honest. They were a little bit shaky in the semifinals matchup.
A little bit shaky. That's why their games was a lot more close compared to Warriors Gold. I believe their last map was a 4-13 blowout. So I definitely want to see them kind of combo their util a little bit better and be a little bit more decisive. There have been times where they're very aggressive, but there's a lot of hesitation when they're going for either defense or attack. So I think that really led them to losing their 1v1s and being kind of caught off guard. But yeah, going into the first round, let's see how they played this through, as the Creative Sport gets that first kind of tap onto the cam. So that's going to be a little bit of info. But on the other side, the attackers, Western Esports, they're going for a B hit off of the rip.
This is quite interesting. Again, B side brings the pistols a little bit closer. Doggo just with a raw plant as hard as possible. Trill, though, made it a little bit difficult, and Top Stacks makes it much more fun. Two-piece over to the Cypher to start things off, and it means that this defense is going to be a little bit wild, the retake defense at least. Quavious Pork, though, for their own, saying, hey, see him around the corner, see him on the backside, Sheriff in hand. Good swing on the one, taps the second as well. That's exactly what you want to see with Spike down. Doggo has to get around the corner, and you're not going to like what happens here. Maybe you can get one, but Trill was ready. Pork, though, at the end of the day, 3K for the Jet.
And that is that strong start you see from Warriors Gold. They were so dominating on the semis finals, 4-13, I believe, on Haven too. So this is definitely going to be one of their stronger maps there, and definitely expecting them kind of blow out the second round as well. But Western Esports, they're not one to kind of shy away from a challenge, and they're gonna come back. You saw how strong they were. We saw that they came back from losing multiple rounds at the same time in a row, and then kind of closing out a map even with a little bit of struggle. So yeah, second round online, got the Outlaw, got Jug, 2 Singers as well as a Bulldog, got some really decent firepower. But if Western East was able to convert this into a win and go for a Thrifty, this is gonna be huge for them.
I mean, they can make that magic happen. It would, as you said, be huge. But you've seen them go on runs and losses of the 3-strike variety. So as much as I hate to say it, I'm not holding my breath, but they can make some excitement. Around the corner you go, and Pork was ready. Pivers is sent down the river, and that's a rough one for First Blood.
First Blood, that's actually going to be a default, but it's going to be a push towards the suicide. They do know someone's short, and it's going to be a beautiful judge kill onto Stacks. And 3v5, the attackers, we expected them to lose this one, but contact being made towards B main. Justin spots one out, but not quite connecting on these shots. Swashy holding that kind of jiggle peek from a long, as Doggo and Grandmaster are slowly making their way in. The contact being made, sees 2, gonna go for the dart to try to push them off a little more. Smokes 2 to provide a little bit more help, and 3 people towards that A side. They're gonna get collapsed on here.
I don't think they're gonna like this one, but Trill is ready in the corner. Swashy on the other side could put up Crossfire. It's gonna be a little bit of a shock from the breach, giving a lot of info. Trill gets some more damage down, and the rest of Western seem to be a little bit corralled. Even taking a look at where Pork is aiming. Pork is saying, look, you don't really have a choice, and you're not going to enjoy what happens. This is the push by Swashy and Trill. That is a clean, flawless round. You and I were talking about it. It seems to be on point, at least thus far. Very nicely done by the Warriors Gold.
Warriors Gold are also doing a really good job, communicating with each other off of the kind of peek from off of the peek from, the Sova, able to get the smoke down right away, as well as then the breach utility to push them off to buy a little bit more time for Pork to kind of go for that flank. So definitely that communication, that teamwork is really there. And hopefully we see that in round 3, as now it's going to be the buy round for Western Esports. They got a little bit more firepower. You are bringing a judge on the Warriors side into round 3. So whether that's going to find any value at all is going to be the real question here. Got a little bit of dark coming through to kind of block out. Recon goes out, but doesn't really quite spot anything. Trap wires are being tripped, and it's going to be the judge getting a 3K, almost landing a 4th, and it's not dead yet. Justin cleans it through, and the defenders win another basically flawless round.
We mentioned this before, and Western tends to try and play a little bit ballsy. We talked about it in, I think, map 1 of their semifinals, where they kind of just rushed the tempo on their attack. They tried to get a jump on anyone, and it just didn't really work out this time. They hard rushed down C-Long. It didn't work out in their favor. It allowed Trill to be able to get the revive off as well, and I think they were able to keep all their weaponry over as well. That's destructive work, and it's a great start to the Warriors Gold side.
An amazing start, actually. Yeah, and it's going to be full save coming from Western Esports as they're forced on all shares. Outlaw still in the hands of Pork. They're watching that short side. A lot of information. They know there can't be A side, so it's going to be that push towards Garage. Very classic, as have less firepower, want to play on numbers, and kind of just flood into a site with less people.
I think they can pull it off, but of course, for the side of Western, it's all about the fact that you kind of let your gun around go to waste. So for the side of Warriors Gold, you're more than excited about this pacing. You're 3-0 up, and it's a BO3, so all you need to do is go ahead and claim 2 games, and you're pretty dang happy. A little bit of a shock into the corner, just trying to clear that entry point. Doesn't really yield any results, neither in the back left. This is a straight up line him up and knock him down, but Pivers and Grandmaster, both of them were able to find kills, which is a great trade. It's down to a 3v3. Of course, Gun's still in opposite favor, but Doggo from the side was able to rain hell. Out with the Odin, though, as Peace says, what's up? Great line around the corner. Pivers still able to make magic, and Pivers is once again stepping into those shoes. Unfortunately, he looked the wrong way, and Pork is able to finish it off. Great round from Western, though.
Very good round, despite the fact that, even though Warriors Gold is still able to buy for this next round, what you can really do during these third rounds is, even if you don't expect a win, you want to try to get as many guns as possible off of the opposite team. You want to cripple their economy as much as possible too. But also this trip coming from Justin on the seaside, very good. The shock dart kind of lineup coming from the side of Grandmaster there is not really hitting it. So they're kind of getting messed up by this trip there, and that seaside hold is very, very strong. You're able to buy a lot more time too, and that is very good. A little bit of information towards C-Long side, but not quite. It's actually a default, but Pivers opens the round up on the kill into trail.
I'm a little bit scared about that one. At the current moment, Swashy saying, guys,
exactly where
we're doing good. 4-0, let's keep it up. This is the gun round again, and this time Western are playing much slower than they were before. That's gonna be the double tap though. Quick call of the kill contract misses though, so nothing grabbed, which allows Pork to line them up. Locks one down. Arav is gone. You can get another, but you pop the double tap. A quick shot with the Sheriff and team rounds the corner, but Swashy and Pork leave nothing to the imagination. Grandmaster and Doggo though are able to swing it right back. 2v2 now, and all the magic. There's another shot to the backside. And it always serves whenever a breach has their number, so Heaven's side Doggo, you don't really have much to play for. Rest of the team around the corner. Grandmaster was ready, and Justin fires away Doggo with the short-range teleport, but back in the cellar side. Do you know they're there? That's Justin, but you don't win. Doggo with a great shot, and it is Western to grab their first.
Come from the round, picking up that operator now, and again, an expensive round for Warriors Gold there. As let's take a look at that scoreboard real quick and see, what is up with them, as well as what's going on towards that. The ultimate. They got a couple ultimates to work with around here, but what can you do in this situation? They still are able to buy, so this is gonna be okay. But Western Esports, they're having to go for like light shields. Even a Stacks has to go for a guardian as well as light shields. So the firepower is there, but whether they can convert over is really up in the air. I got the Hunter Series available as well, but it's looking like a default for Western Esports.
Yeah, no, for Western, I'm actually really happy about this. Granted, I like faster play, but Justin getting a little bit of revenge here. And this is what I was kind of worried about. Whenever you play the defaults, it's always a firefight at the end of the day, and it feels like Warriors Gold are on top of it. That last round, it was messy, but it was great. It was a charge into that A site. So now that you lost one, we got to see where Western go from there. They're also not leaning out towards the sides, which is allowing a C-long position push. So a little bit further up, meaning if they try, things will go awry. Swashy with a great shot on Pivers, and that's already 2 down.
3 left alive on Western Esports. Got a little bit of presence towards that B link side, but look at the amount of space being taken by Warriors Gold right now. The full C long is taken. They know that there's no one here, so there can only be a couple possibilities. You can only go for mid or that kind of garage pick, because look at the space being taken from the A main side as well. As now Rob and the rest of the team are kind of slowly making their way through towards link to try to bait out or isolate a couple of fights as much as possible. Plant's going to go down towards that B side, and it's going to call for that rotate towards a B. But look at the amount of flankers that are coming through. Warriors Gold, 4 people on that flank, while the rest of Western Esports are kind of stuck on that B side trying to find something. Hunter's here to go out to try to spot them through. Beautiful neural theft as well. Nice coming into Crazy for finds one, looking for another one. Doesn't quite find it, but Rob gets the 2. And oh my god, keeping it alive. The operator ends the 3rd. Straight to the dome, and it's the Jet with the knives to clean it through for Warriors Gold. Up 5-1 against Western Esports.
And honestly, the flush was perfect. Use the Hunters here. You know they're in the corner. Push them out to the side, and you knew Pork. That was the first knife thrown. You knew they were in that corner. It was so clean. You flush them out. Arav, though, with a really nice step up. Only 2 kills so far in this map were those 2 right there. So, hey, you get something. But at the end of the day, it's still Pork who is showing up here, matching Trill in the current kill count, and it's a rightful timeout. You take a look at Western, you're like, hey, we're getting outclassed a little bit here. It's not looking great. We got to shake things up.
And I really want to say, like, this is where Warriors Gold is really shining through and showing how strong they are as a team. Because as much as individual shooters is important, but that team combination, the double initiator, really highlights the need to really collaborate and combo your utility and peak off of each other's contact or peak off of each other's utility. And they're doing that perfectly. And they're setting themselves up for so much success and winning so many of these rounds. But now, going into round 7, what are you looking for from Western Esports to kind of bring over the shift? I mean, I know they're kind of poor on the economy, so most that they can do is just try to get as many guns off of the other team. But what do you want to see change in their team play?
I want to see them use a Rov a little bit more. A Rov, I think in some of the previous rounds, Yoru's can be a make or break style, but it's also 100 to 0, right? Like you either go 100% or you go 0%. That's what the Yoru kit is. A lot of that information, the trip up, you don't really have a whole lot of smokes to play with. Yeah, the Cypher Traps and the Omen, but you are tending to save those. So if you're going to get a little bit crazy, you might need to just do an all-out push like you tried back in round number 3, this time with a little bit heavier guns and a little bit more coordinated. And there it is, a Rov, as we just called, using that dimensional JIT to gather so much intel and free up the C site.
Unfortunate little pop on that clone there, looking forward to going to that smoke, but no, it's going to be that C hold, but it's going to be a full retake on the side of Warriors Gold. But no, Justin gets the kill onto Pivers. Do they know that Stax is in the corner here? They've got to know, they have to clear this corner. But oh my god, yes they do. DeQuavius Port gets one, and it's Trill and Swatchy both get theirs. Again with the operator, Port ends up finishing it to the Butcher as we get another round for Warriors Gold. Clean and flawless.
Z-Lion, you asked me, what does Western need to do? I think they did just about everything right that they could have. In terms of macro sense, you flush out the site, you have enough time to set up, and you hit your corners. The problem comes about is number 1, obviously, you didn't really have guns in the hand. That obviously is number 1. Number 2 is you're just not gunning as well. Even with guns in hand, Warriors just seem better when it comes to hits, and when it comes to a position where there's so few smokes about, like Pork and Doggo are quite literally holding it for their entries most of the time. Like Pork is just like, I don't care about smokes. I'm dashing him with an op. Like I don't care. It is difficult to see Warriors actually dropping this due to macro. It is solely on micro, and Warriors win that pretty much hands down, as you saw right there.
Oh my god, what a pick from DeQuavius Pork there, and that's gonna be the contact towards that grass side. Justin versus the Cypher v Cypher action, but they're gonna back out as Stack's gonna call the team on and say, hey guys, maybe let's not push into that operator and let's try to go for a different angle of attack. But in response, Warriors Gold has the read. They're actually rotating off of A side and kind of covering a little bit more ground going through Stacks in that garage side, gonna get some information as well as bring their attention over. But that is gonna actually alert the defenders, Warriors Gold, to rotate over too. But no, actually they're staying parked where they are. Stacks trying to creep up slowly, but are they ready? Is Justin ready for this push? Pivers gets that trip, and it's gonna be a take onto C, nice and clean. But with the retake, do they know? Stacks and Lurk is stacking. Stacks find one. He needs to find more than one. Finds a second. Looking for a third. Can he find a third? No, it's Justin to dash his drink away. But DeQuavius Port picks up the pieces of Pivers in a 3v2 situation. Bombs ticking down. Doggo onto Justin. But DeQuavius Port and P are just the best of friends, watching each other's back, making sure that they get another round of this defense.
You know what? At this point, it almost feels expected that Warriors Gold are winning. They're not winning as cleanly, though. Topsack's being allowed to rotate in. I believe that was through mid into C Connect. It was that should not be allowed most times. I feel like we've seen Warriors, really close a lot of those loopholes and some of those tunnels. Very nice job by Topsacks. You're starting to find some of those opportunities. They're very narrow and they're not winning you the rounds, but you're making it more difficult to have kind of these flawless moments. Now, the problem is we need to see at least 2 or 3 more of those situations and, see them really step up for the side of Western. It also needs to be all-encompassing. Topsacks needs to pull that off, as well as the rest of the team to throw down a lot of those kills. But I mean, right now it's 6-round difference, and Pork does not seem to end at all. But you have caught Pork to just 1 kill this round.
I like this positioning from Trill. Trill does have the not dead yet, so you can play a little bit more aggressive here and definitely looking for that P and Trill getting their ones, and Trill again onto Doggo. Beautiful trades coming through, and it stacks on a 1v3 with the Sheriff. Camera just spot him through, so he's gonna be caught a little bit off guard there. But you know, with the bomb down, it's just gonna be a crunch towards that garage side. They know exactly where he is, and yes, that's Trill to finish it through with a 3K. Again, 8-1. Warriors Gold are on fire, up 7 rounds. I mean, what can you say about this team? Like, they're just so strong, Orbital.
They are showing why they deserve first. That's what I'm going to say about them. They deserve first. They're saying they deserve to be here, and it's respected as well. I personally see a lot of teams that, you know, when they're up and about, you start seeing them get sloppy. You start seeing them get a little bit messy, and they start, you know, taking 1v1s or 1v2s that they absolutely should not. And we sit there going, really, are you really going to pull this off? Are you really going to do this? Well, we're not seeing them do this here. For Warriors, it's all about closing it out cleanly and smartly. As Pork, how did you snap that shot?
God. What was that shot? Oh my god, fights on Swashy 2K3 looking for a third, and it's the util from A-Lane to back them up, and Justin with the final kill, flawless. The utility, the shots, the Quavious Pork with the crazy opening shot, and Swashy kind of providing that backup as he backs it up 3K. Oh my god. Yeah, let's look at the shot again, please. Like, you barely see the head. Like, what? Excuse me.
This is... People wonder why I don't play when I'm trying to learn the game. This is why, right? Like, I'm never going to replicate this level of skill at any point in my life. I'm not doing that. I need to watch the better players, and that's what we're watching here. Warriors Gold are putting on a masterclass in how to take down an opponent. They are comfortably playing these rounds out. They've now forced another chance. We are now seeing one of the first kill contract throwdowns. And it's gonna be a chance. Pivers actually wins inside, but the rest of the team is falling. Trill now getting a revive as well, as he still has the Odin. And needless to say, it is still a Warriors Gold win, as that is now 10-1 for Warriors Gold.
Oh my god, this is looking like a sweep. I can't lie. Warriors Gold, again, I have to highlight that teamwork. The amount of utility being used by this team and kind of playing off each other. You know, you had the stun to back up, you know, that short hold by Swashy, by P. You also have the flashes coming through and the communication. They're swinging off each other perfectly. And I really think that's really highlighting the strengths of this team and why they're winning so decisively against Western. But going to this last round for this half, Western just looking for a second round to bring it into a 10-2, but Warriors Gold are just looking so strong. And the operator by Quavious Pork looking real confident, finds the opening pick again. This is the Op Academy and Op expert in the hands of Mr. Pork.
That's illegal. Like, this is starting to get illegal. You are allowed to push out of the garage, face first, and break open space. Swashy and he are walking around nonchalantly with some of the largest weapons in the game. Doggo is hoping for at least one kill. You know, we as casters here try and stay impartial. We try to stay unbiased, but there is a point where you call out an opponent that is doing exceptionally well on the day. Pivers, at least, is trying to make things evened up. Doggo and Pivers are able to make their mark 1 and 2. Short range TP, though, as Doggo finds Trill. Trill was trying to gather a little bit of a pick-me-up, and it landed them right into Doggo's hands. Justin, though, around the corner, grabs the last, and it's an 11-1 half.
It's just an absolute cinema. They got the Hunter Sphere to push him off, and then the positioning for Trill. Unfortunately, Trill did miss the shots, but then that's back up. As you know, you got someone pushed up on the C link side too. And I don't know, I feel like the push out from garage with the operator, that's definitely like a up 11-1 play. Like, you don't do that if you're even 6-6. Like that's just that's like you got like that's just disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's like when
6 out 2 seconds before you, by the way.
I'm sorry, but that's like giving me like NRG versus Sentinels, you know, on Split, that one, they were up like 5 rounds, 6 rounds. This is the same vibe. Like, you don't push out with an op there, especially just peeking out blind and getting the first kill. Like, that's just disrespectful. And that's all has to do with the amount of confidence that's been instilled with all these rounds being won. But yeah, going into this next round, first pistol in second half, and it's stacks holding it down, but all that utility being used, that's going to draw them away from A side as they're now kind of positioning over, but is Rob in place? No, the shots are just not good enough, and the TP's too late as the previous part gets that kill. Grandmaster Vader holding from the short side, but the shots again, the micro is just not there for this team. As again, Mr. Port gets one more.
Oh,
breathe.
That hurt to watch. Like, that hurt my soul. Z-Lion, we were playing a TDM earlier, and you laughed at my 6 kills.
Oh, 100%.
I'm pretty sure that's what they got right now. Like, this hurts. Trill is closing out Doggo. And it's a 5-0
Oh my.
Clean out in the pistol. And it's a flawless to put Warriors Gold on map point.
Like, I'm sorry, but again, not even just the micros, you know, like the crosshair placement, as well as, you know, being able to, the reaction time has been amazing from this team, but it's also the positioning. After getting those 2 opening picks on long and short, instead of, you know, usually a team would just take that A side because they know that, oh, they got 2 off of A, but no, they actually pivoted away from there and went towards C as they had someone lurking towards, you know, garage as well as B main. So the positioning, the decisiveness coming from this team is really game changing.
Scary thing is I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Again, they look so respectful at the end of the day. We're not seeing that flashy action at all. And I've called a 4 right now. That's going to be a quick TP in the front side, though. And that is a flashy play of 1. Pork is able to find 1. Mr. Pork happy about that one. But Pivers is running in with a double tap saying, give me that chance. Able to snipe out 1. Shrill, though, answers back. And it's still a 3v3.
I mean, again, Trill, another kill onto Grandmaster is 3v2 now. Numbers in favor of the Warriors Gold, but do they know Justin lying in? Wait, no, you don't clear your corners, you have to. And Stacks, oh my, 13-1, a complete blowout for Warriors Gold. They are now on map point, guys. Once again, adjustment was BO3, okay? So this is the first map. They win the next map, it's game over. There's no, oh, third map, we can bring it back. Like, no, it's like, you have to bring it all out, and Orbital is rocking his chair right now, so he's like, I'm gonna take it to the hospital real quick, okay, guys?
It was, I mean, at the end of the day, though, I'm not saying that, you know, Western didn't try. We've seen Western actually climb back and fight just as hard when it was like 6-6 back in the semifinals. It just feels like a gap right now. Mr. Pork, Trill are both playing on absolute massive scales. To put it in perspective, Mr. Pork, 22-4, Doggo, 7-13, both the highest KDAs for their team, triple the amount of kills. Pork had triple. Ridiculous job in just the micro expression, and this is why I actually really do like Valorant and, you know, any of the round-based shooters. The tactical shooting means that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what utility you have or what abilities you have. If you click heads, you win games. Z-Lion, do we think Western can bounce back on Lotus?
Okay, here's the thing. We saw Western for, at least for for Waterloo Gold Warriors Black, they did have a really close game on Lotus for semifinals. So I'm expecting a little bit something more. You know, I think Western does have the room to kind of try to bring it back, but just based on the performance that we saw from Haven, like, I'm hoping that it's just Western, you know, needs like a map to warm up kind of vibe, you know. But yeah, but based on the micro and the macro adjustments for the Warriors has just been like above and beyond, almost like another level, that if they carry that on into Lotus, they have same team plays, they have same combination, they have, you know, the same shooting power, and, you know, it's these superstar players on their team, then I'm thinking it's gonna be clean 2-0 sweep for them. Like, I can't lie, and I don't want to hate, but, you know, like, and last night I wasn't trying to hate. Listen, you were the hater, but
listen, Z-Lion, there is no hate when we call out what we just watched in front of our screen. I think that's what we have to say. There's enough evidence to back up the fact that Warriors Gold are going for a 2-0 sweep in convincing fashion. We'll see if they can pull it off, though, or if Western are going to fight back and bring us to a game 3. Either way, it is a hard mountain to climb. Please don't go anywhere. The CIE Valorant Grand Finals will continue in just a bit.
Bye-bye. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. We are set to go for map number 2 because right now that was a blazing fast matchup as Waterloo went ahead and took map number 1, 13-1. Now we're going straight into Lotus because they are already set for map number 2, and you know it's going to be spicy. We got top stacks on that Vice. We got a possible Phoenix as, okay, you know, we had a discussion about whether or not we're going to see silliness. We might be seeing some silliness coming out from the side of Warriors.
I'm expecting full silliness from them. I'm not gonna lie. If they went full duelist, 5 duelists, I would not even have been surprised, to be honest. But yeah, Western is gonna start on defense, Waterloo's on attack, and you know, on the attack side, you have Waterloo right now. So let's see what they're going to play. You got the Breach. You also got potential. Oh, DeQuavius Pork opting for essential role instead of the duelist. That is quite interesting. There, I'm not going to lie. Double controller composition, Justin on the Viper as well as Omen, played by P. DeQuavius Pork. Oh, never mind. There we go. No Sentinel at all. It's going to be that Neon for Mr. Pork. I was surprised. Like, if he went for Sentinel when he was doing so well on Duelist, that's a very, very big jump.
Mm-hmm. And I think this also makes sense. Whenever we see Haven, it's a little bit more verticality. You can get over some of the boxes. Lotus is very flat, extremely so. And so Neon kind of makes their home in the speedways, makes their home in that kind of chaotic fashion. And we can see Pork pop off again. Pork and Trill specifically, with that fade, being able to bring that Nightfall in, or that Nightmare across the entire board. We are looking at the Western squad. We're saying, hey, we want to see you guys pop off. And you were talking about one player in particular that you wanted to really see make their mark here in map number 2.
Yeah, 100%. For Western side, you know, we saw them play Lotus in that semifinals, and I thought GGG did an amazing job with utility usage, but as well as fragging out. So I really want to see GGG kind of come out of the woodwork and really bring their team back. But on the other side, you were mentioning Pivers as well. Pivers has been, you know, pretty consistent in terms of frags. You know, he has had their pop-off moments. You know, sometimes they're a little bit wisp, but that's okay. So, you know, I'm really looking for these individual players to really come through. But now we go from Pistol. We're going to, at that opening round, get the eye out. Doesn't respond to information. Is going to be a fast push towards C. But no, it's the fast retake, the flank from B that's going to capture Swashy. Justin gets the kill onto Pivers 4v4. And it's GGG again pushing up to kind of collapse on the rest of this team. As, oh my god, come from all sides, but P gets killed to Rob. 3v3, knows where they are. They're gonna go for that kill onto Doggo towards the B side, and that's a 3v2. They know one's C, they know one's A, so that's gonna be B free for the taking.
You know what? I respect it from Western. I highly respect the attempt at pushing in like that one. You meet them kind of face to face, and you went for it. You made it a little bit bloody. At the same time, though, you know Trill is ready. Of course, maybe not as ready as we thought. GGG swings another G and gets one more. Now we need to go ahead and see this 2-2 work out. GGG. Looking left and right, slings a little bit of that util and decays out. Are you gonna get a bit more? Prowler once again, but P with the right click catches a third, and now P ready. But has to reload! Tom Sachs finds an opportunity, and that is gonna be Western to take round one.
Stacking up that first round. Can they stack any more with a clutch beautifully done from Stacks? That 2v1 situation. Unfortunate the gun ran out of bullets, but now going into round two after the pistol again, this is one of those deciding rounds where you're gonna go for the buy for the team that won. That's gonna be on the side of Western. They're gonna go for a couple of Spectres. You also got an Outlaw. Oh, I love me an Outlaw on Lotus. I will always say that, and I'll never not say that. You also have a Guardian, and on the other side looks like a Mr. Pork is opting for that Bucky, and a Bucky slide with Neon on Lotus is also going to be quite shocking.
Yeah, this is, again, the start was a little bit messy. I'm sure this is going to be a huge chance as well, as Pork is ready to roll with a Bucky in hand. He's just jumping right over, slides on in, and Tom Sachs is like, nah, stop signing your face. Shut that right down like they did previously in the semifinals.
Getting dunked through, but there's also the take from top from Arav here. A little space being taken up towards the A main side. They know they're not there. You also got no presence towards C, so they know they're not there either. Arav with that Outlaw waiting for contact was actually going to be re-aggressed towards the C side, but how they choose to push through with this without their Neon is going to be really telling, especially going into a site that's being stacked by 3 people here. And yeah, Doggo makes first contact with Pivers as well, and Top Sachs, yes, 1 for 1, and it's another for Pivers, a flawless round, really well done for Western. They are gonna bring this back, and definitely the 13-1 is in the past, and we are now in the present as up 2 rounds going to round 3.
We know what they've done. They've fought literally tooth and nail up to a 6-6 before, and then closing it out. They even went to OTs before, so I like the fact that we're seeing this. But again, for Warriors Gold, this is also a chance for them to have the weapons in hand. And I always feel you can't really call a team down and out until you go ahead and see their gun rounds, until you see them rock out with the full, what looks to be Phantoms right now. And it's going to be bloody one way or another as an A side lean here. Trill ready to go as that clone just passes right by.
A lot of util being used in this opening A, but it's going to force them back. The initial kill onto, one of the attackers is going to be that take onto a site, but with the Outlaw in hand, no, Rod misses the shot. With Neon, is just too fast. Blind's coming through, taking that aggressive position towards backside as the Guavious Pork makes some contact up on Heaven, but does Arav know that there's someone lying in wait there? This attack side, the flash is good, but not quite good enough as Trill's there for some backup. Paranoia is good, and DeQuavius Pork again, more backup, 1 for 1, and they know it's the tether to shut him down. They know one more is there, and it's gonna be a brawl towards Heaven as Top Sachs trying to switch out a gun, gets a stinger instead. Beautiful sprays onto DeQuavius Pork. 3v3. It's Pivers with the Outlaw, and can they secure another one? Stacks onto Trill, P onto Doggo. 1v1. All of a sudden, it's up to these players to secure for their team. But with the Spectre, does he know? No, it's P with the superior firepower can clean it through the first round, going towards Waterloo Warriors for this map on Lotus.
I would like to point out, I believe P was on like 2 HP. That was extremely close and very impressive by Western. That topside battle that they had to bounce back in between, very, very comfortable job making that very difficult for the side of Warriors to actually contend with. Now moving into the next, now we're seeing a lot of that difference as Swatchy is actually sitting on a pistol only. But the Odin for GGG already pulling out the big guns. I like this call. You run it hard and you run it fast. Make sure to shut down what Warriors have immediately.
And Piano goes through, doesn't really quite connect. It's going to be the drone. It's the copy. No, 1-for-1. GG and Rob both get this, and just adjusting the trade out of Rob. And it's a 4v3. That clone was just so detrimental for that push there towards a breakable, as now it's going to slow down the attackers as they're now looking for an other plan of attack, you know, going for more of a default. Back to you.
Let's see if they're going to continue. Trill waiting off in the corner side. No biggie. No biggie. At the same time, it's always a little bit of suspense, I should say. You can see the B side currently locked down, and with 45 seconds, you know it's gonna be a catch. GGG though, great find number one. Wall goes up, but 2 are in. These are the last 2 alive. Justin trying to close out and clean out some of those sections, and finds a swing as Doggo looked the wrong way, but Top Stack still able to answer back. Justin now in a 1v2 with the spike in hand is going to rotate over to the C site, with the Viper going to try and hold it on their lonesome here in the retake defense.
One off of ult here, but in this 1v2 situation, you got some utility from GGG as well. You got the I in 3, and you got the Tether as well as Prowler, so a lot of utility work off for this retake. You know, baiting his teammate there, you know, just because, you know, your Pivers is really, really low. Prowler's gonna go through, doesn't find anything backside, and it's gonna be the orb to play around. Justin trying to isolate, gets the 4th, looking for an ace here, but the defuse, it's good as Justin secures an ace. What a clutch coming through to even out the scoreboard.
That was
You good?
Again, it comes down to the fact that I feel like Western are doing all the right moves. Their macro has looked a lot better since the opening rounds of map 1. But the micro coming out of literally everyone on the side of Warriors Gold. Like, Justin steps up, P steps up, Trill steps up, Pork steps up. Granted, maybe not in this game, but saving the lives of the rounds of this map 1, keeping it at 2-2, ridiculous work right now. And now Pork is just bouncing along, saying, "Hey, we're gonna try and get a little bit of slide, a little bit of an angle." As it's a hard flush from the side of Western all the way into the C side as we get a kill contract online. Who is gonna win that one? I am curious. And it's going to be P that wins it inside of that arena.
Yes, and with the judge, oh no, it's the Bucky as Toxic makes a contact onto Quavis. Pork goes down, but P is able to get a trade onto Stacked as well. Doggo playing backside with the Sheriff. Little smoke to play around or provide the site to still be online, but they don't know that it's actually a take towards that B side. The Nightfall kind of deafening them. They can't really hear. And now on the B side, it's going to be that retake 4v3. Can they pull through? Justin lying in wait towards breakable, and the rest of the team just kind of parked on that B main.
I think if I'm watching this one, I am going to be very, very cautious of this opening. We know exactly what can be thrown down by the side of Warriors Gold, and right now it's 10 on the back end. Another smoke barely to save a Rob, but a Rob has to still walk through, and that's a problem as it leaves them pre-fired. And pre-fired for that round. Great win by the side of Warriors.
Beautiful Nightfall there from Trill to cut off, you know, information, but also cut off the sound for the door as well as, you know, the plan. Only after when the bomb was planned were they actually kind of rotating off of that C site, bring all that attention towards C, and giving that much space towards B to go for that plan, and also just play around in these unsuspecting locations where they could be. Put them in such a great position and was able to secure that round. But now going into round 6, we are looking at the buys, and the gunfire is pretty good, but it looks like it's going to be a fast and a more aggressive push towards the B side. A lot of shots being fired towards A, and it's going to be, you know, the Nightfall available for GGG to kind of push them back, getting it ready. But no, do they know there's 3 people that already pushed out on the B side? Yes, they do. Trill also rob the micro, and then they have the Prowler, some flashes, and they're just in the way. The door's open. Double tap, engage, Doggo onto Justin, and it's just so hard as the attack. The defense are just kind of falling apart slowly, but they're able to get away with a little bit more as the attackers with DeQuavius Park on the Vanguard is able to take A for free.
I mean, that was a really, really smart call coming out of Warriors. They said, "Hey, we're hearing no noise on the A site, even though we're pushing so hard. Let's go ahead and bring a rotation over to that mid just in case." They clothesline him. Justin finds their loss though in that doorway, so it's a little mix and match, but it's still a 4v3 position, and it's a two-side flank. This is Pivers walking through rubble, saying, "Hey, I hear a few around the corner." Great long TP though, as that's gonna be the nightfall that you mentioned. Bringing it on, seeing two, but it is going to be that tree that's found out. Now it's spotted. CT populated by 1T. And it's going to be a problem, though, as Trill is able to find one, but that's all they get. It's down to a 2v2. Great shot by Pork number one. And now you just wait for the team. You know exactly where Doggo is. You dance on him a little bit. Stylish as can be. And it's Pork with the 3K to put Warriors on 4.
I'm sorry, that's straight disrespectful. The dancing around, the little 1-2 step, the slide Michael Jackson into a kill and on the third pick. I mean, what can you say except this guy is going absolutely insane? You know, the Steel Guard was procced by Stacks there, but unfortunately, really great timing by Sloshy with that Rolling Thunder to kind of push them back and buy a little bit more time for that Steel Guard and timer to go down. So then they were kind of going into this retake and this post plan a little bit stronger with their primaries now unjammed. But now going to this next round, it's going to be full save from the side of Western, Western's main team. And the shots from the shots are good for the spams, and we saw this before, but can GG replicate that success with these spams coming through? No, really, as they're being pushed back on the A side, 3 mans on the back side there, but it's all of this util being thrown, and it's so hard. Justin P, and Swatchy, and Justin again, and it's just one person left standing, and it's Mr. Stacks. Can he secure it? I don't think so.
No, this is yet again we're seeing Warriors get into the groove a little bit more, and again, shout out to Western to make it very difficult in the early rounds. They're online now. I'm sorry, Warriors Gold is completely online. P, Justin, Pork, they're rolling in some of these firefights. Yes, that was a round where you did save, you didn't have much to play with, and this time around you had 3 ults. Do I really think it's going to make that large of a difference? I hope so. I really, really do. But for the rest of Western, we need to see them really come together. They're on defense, but you need to be a little bit more, I hate saying a little bit more heads up. You need to be willing to rotate as quickly as possible, and you need this initial engagement, this first blood to really go your way. And the first blood, that is indeed true. The walls can get procced on the B side. It's going to bring a little bit of attention there, but it's Justin to find one, gets a trade out, but Swashy there for that trade as well. Pivers onto Dequavius Pork, 3v3. That is your duelist out for the count. The raid boss is dead, guys, so there's possibilities come through. C-side being taken is being planned for that backside, but that's the nightfall being procced. They know exactly where they are, but oh my god, the Prowler onto P, from P going through GGG, and Pivers gets a 3K with kill contract to try save himself. Beautifully done in the 1v1 in the gulags, but he wins it out with a 4K and looking for the 5th, and it's a what 2? Oh, never mind, that's it. I thought there was one more person alive. I was so caught up in this 1v1, but yeah, that is a beautiful round being won for Western there, and the ults were good and did save them from losing that round. Very well done. We had to talk about this as well. I know you're talking about Doggo really stepping up, but I talked about Pivers being my player to watch for, and Pivers is much more seesaw, right? It's very hot or cold, but whenever Pivers is on that hot streak, they are immaculate, and I think we saw it right there, right? 4K in the bank with that kill contract, with all the double taps, they can make magic happen. The problem is we need to see it happen repeatedly. We need to see it happen at least 2 or 3 more times to get these rounds under order.
Do you have the dimensional drift of the ball? Oh, the timing on the TP is just not good enough. So Quavius gets the kill onto Rob, and it's Trill onto GGG, and also Pork onto Pivers. Doggo is able to shut him down and shuts down Trill as well. The Paranoid's gonna push him off of that breakable angle, and 3v2, 2 defenders left standing as A is being taken with that Viper's pit. Are they able to pull through and kind of secure this? It's gonna be hard. It's definitely going to be hard as Sax falls down towards site.
I mean, it's just a test and a half inside of this Viper's pit. It's so difficult, but P with a bouncing shot. Justin though rings true with the shorty, and in a 2v1 position, Doggo can only do so much. When you decayed out, you're gonna get that HP back, but still, it sucks. You're gonna have to hone out, and Swashy was ready as well. Really nice clothesline, and the stress Teddy is there. That's double shorty to take a round victory, pushing Warriors to 6.
I mean, there's very little you can do within like a Viper's pit, especially on such a tight site on A. Got a bunch of walls, but you know you can play around in or out of the Viper's pit and just really kind of fool your opponents and isolate these 1v1s, and that's exactly what Justin did, and they did it with very immaculate fashion. But going on to round 10 right now, it's going to be a full stake coming from the side of Western, as you know they're going to gamble stack towards that A side. 3 people there, but is it enough to hold the absolute tanks that Warriors have been this entire series?
Well, right now it's a long shot angle, as this is a hard commit coming out from the side of Warriors. They're setting in 2 pivots, and you can see they only got a little bit of time. They are going to be kind of pincered in by 1, so if they're not careful, they are going to be in possible trouble at the end of the day. Top Stacks hears a lot of footsteps, but I like this rotation into the B site and around. You got 1 on the end, but it's still a 4v4, and you don't really have the guns to play with. Long route, though, over through CT, and you get to see some eyeballs in. Peak number 1, and you might see an arm or 2. I think Pork knows Doggo is there, but they don't want to take that chance. 4v4 position still spiked down. Let's see if it can be played out.
Oh, the shots, but it's going to be the shorty into the face. The Quivius Port gets the kill into Doggo. 3v4. The Rolling Thunder being pushed off. To provide a little bit more time, Top Stacks kind of stuck in that breakable with Justin to get that kill. And with Trill, Prowler, Spell of Information doesn't quite make it through that opening, but it's okay. Justin gets a 3rd kill. Looking for a 4th, but no. Support and Mr. Port to get the 2nd, as attackers making a very decisive play towards B, was able to secure another round.
I love the commitment from them. They said, hey, we got to push in. We're not going to break through the lines with how much util was thrown down. We all just swing over to the B site. It gave them such a large opportunity. It was comfortable as well for them. No panic, even when P went down. 0 panic on their side. Very, very nice. We're rounding into the last 2 of the half, and I could foresee this going to the cursed 9-3. And even if it does, I don't see the Warriors falling, because Warriors at this point only believe in themselves and what they see in front of their eyes.
They're more so gladiators than warriors. They're looking so strong right now. And decisive plays, and also playing it patiently, knowing when to take space, knowing when to back out. That's what we're kind of seeing. But I do like what I'm seeing from Western. You know, they do have guns. They took a little bit more space towards that mount side, but, you know, giving up that space now to try to back up and provide a little bit more kind of support towards A. But no, it's the wrong read, as it's gonna leave the Warriors into that C site with little to no resistance. You don't have a setup there. You only got, you know, an Omen smoke that can really kind of push them back in a paranoia.
For still trying to make something, though, and this dimensional drift has been such a key point for them, as Doggo is able to open up with first blood. Get a lot of info on Rav. Sees 2 in the back line. Dimensional drift ready to go. Great information given over to Pivers. The key needs to do a little bit more. It's gonna be a fire back of Rav with the break out of the dimensional drift and finds the 3. What a challenge, as the information game goes the way of Western.
Mr. Rav, dimensional drift to provide information, but also timing to come out of the ults perfectly, with the utility being thrown, the paranoia to catch not just 1, not just 2, but 3 in that round. Really well done. I'm going to this next round, but you know, Warriors Black are still looking really healthy on the economy. They're still able to buy after losing that. But on the other side, you know, even despite that win from Western, you still have one person who's not really able to buy that full kind of rifle. You got a Guardian. This provide a little bit more firepower, but they also got Steel Garden for the take, or for the retake per se, but still 4-7. Can they bring it to one more round to a 5-7 finish for the first half on Lotus? Let's take a look.
They can do so. That's going to be the Nightfall going through yet again. Top Stacks on the top end, though, making sure that they are not tracked. And Pork getting a little bit lost inside of the smokes. That was a little bit of a hard run down there into drop. And inside that rubble part, Pork is just ready yet again, though, hiding inside because you lost your primary. And you're still going to see it. Quivers, though, with the double tap, gets a refresh and a half. Now the rest of the team kind of pushes forward. In goes the wall to create a little bit more space, and the rest of the Western squad are able to push in, but he was ready. Everyone in tree, though, he shuts them down. In comes Trill to fire away. It's a hard left click, but GG, last one alive. And it's an Odin versus a Phantom. I never thought this would happen. Who's going to come on top? 39 bullets, plenty to work with. Are you going to find it hard? Swing! Trill says no! That's some rude action at the end, but it is going to be 8 rounds over to the side of Warriors.
They're just doing such a good job on the attack side. Again, looking at that scoreboard, 14-7 for Justin. 2.0 KD, you know, also P's doing an amazing job too, 13-8. They're really showing up and showing out. Pivers on the other side, you know, 11-10, you got 10-8. You know, the scoreboard is not too kind of separated or too far apart on the side of Western, but I really need to see more on this attack side. You know, with a double duelist composition, they are more of an attack side of comp. So I'm looking for more here. I'm looking for them to bring it back, especially take advantage of, you know, the TP coming for Rav. You said how Yoru can really be this make or break agent, and I really think on this half it's going to really be that telling sign whether this is going to make or break for Western there.
Bring them down.
Z-Lion,
No way.
Whoa!
Are you kidding me?
Sloshy though. Put a lot to rest. The top side answers right back. And it's left to a 1v2. What was this out of Western? What a random collapse. GGG even throwing some love over. Maybe quite a bit of love, as it's going to be a 1v2 position. And it is Western to try and figure out exactly where they want to go. Looking like they're going to try and hit this B site as quickly as possible and force that 2v1 position.
I am looking for, I don't know, but if anyone can really pull through this clutch, it's DeQuavius Pork, and he is the last one standing alongside Warriors Gold. It's going to be a B hit and a plant, potentially, but no, they're actually going to take their time with it. They do have 44 seconds to kind of bait out a fight and be able to look for information, but it's going to be DeQuavius Pork going for that very, very long flank. Double up on the breakable, you know, to play off each other. That is very smart. You don't want to give that person once, especially with how DeQuavius Pork has been playing. You definitely don't want to give him any opportunity to kind of bring this back. And hitting on that B side, but there's so many angles to have to clear. You got a slide available, and there is that flash, but the high-low, no, it's going to be Pivers to clean it through. Beautiful round coming for attackers on this second pistol on Lotus.
I'm enjoying this a lot. Pivers and top stacks are starting to show off a little bit more as well, and I'm interested to see who comes out on top. This is a heavy investment as well. We can see the Guardians coming out for Doggo and Arav. If we get to see some of that more controlled pacing out of Western, I could see this going even further. But it needs to be consistent value. We need to see it continue across the multiple rounds if they want to match up to what is looking like a 9-6 start to the half.
I don't think Western's actually doing a good job kind of adapting, and they're really kind of finding their footing, you know, going from a 13-1 to now 5-8. That is progress. And despite the fact that, there's a very big progress, despite the fact they're still kind of in a deficit in terms of rounds, they're still doing an amazing job to kind of go move accordingly. But now this very big C fight, but no, they're just ready. The flashes are good, but just not good enough. And it's a 4v1 all of a sudden, as now we just have one person left alive, and that's gonna be Trill with a Bucky. Is he able to find one? Yes, he is. And can he upgrade to that gun? No, not quite. And with someone else watching and waiting, Zarav to hunt down the prey, and that is again another round going towards Western. As I say, doing a good job adapting, and I definitely think, you know, let's just say the first map was a warm-up map, okay? You know, and we just keep praying it keeps going.
I can agree with that one. I think map 1 was a little bit of the, you know, get things out of the way. At the same time, we're still seeing a lot of what Warriors Gold have. As much as we want to praise a lot of what Western are doing about how comfortable they've been, this is where the test starts, and this is where we saw a huge run for Warriors Gold. I believe it was about 5 rounds in a row that we saw on that scoreboard there. They know how to play just as well. And on the defensive end, I expect some of their defensive holds to be immaculate coming out here, as Pork swinging around towards Rubble saying, hey, this A position, you're not going to get for free. On the B side, though, it's through the doorways into the mound position. Hard clear of the initial mid hallways.
And it's gonna be that slow clear up again, but look at the B push up. Does he know? Looks like they could be aware, but yes, it's pivots to get swashing. That's gonna be your B lurker down, and off of that information, it's gonna be a fast rotate towards that B side as they know that hey, there's someone down here. They can really open up their opportunities, but the amount of space we take by DeQuavius Pork right now on that A side. They know that they can't be A, but it looks like they're going to actually re-aggress towards the A side. But will DeQuavius Port be ready for this 5v1 kind of peak there? Is really have to see. Looking forward. Doesn't quite find the connect. Is able to isolate a couple fights, but no, it's going to be a Pivers to come out on top. And that is going to be sometime being bought, but just not quite enough, as now A is free for the taking versus 3 people left on defense. It's gonna look kind of impossible, and looks like they're actually gonna go for that save.
That hurts to watch, but again, very controlled. As you mentioned, Western starting to show up here, starting to be a little bit more alive and starting to be more conscious of their movements, and also winning some of these first gun duels. That is now 2 that they have answered for free. On the exit, they might lose 1 if they decide to push out a little bit farther, if they get a little bit cheeky with it. But at this current position, it is looking like they are bouncing back in a great way. Only going to be around 1 round difference at this point. No problem there. 3 guns saved on the side of Warriors means that they do get to play into, I believe, what is going to be the 16th round of the game. I am very tentative with how this is playing out still. I still feel that Warriors are going to pop off with something in there. As Dog, okay. Maybe not as Justin gets found out there. Doggo's like, I found you. You're not getting away that easily.
Yeah, they're warming up and they're bringing it back. And Lotus was that kind of map that we went triple OT on. So when we went for semifinals last play. So whether that's gonna happen, my producer's probably swearing at me right now because every time I say OT, it actually ends up happening, and they don't want OT to happen. But yeah, it's okay. I will be the one to initiate the caster curse. I do not care. No cares given. So, you know, they're looking to bring it back, and they've evened out the scoreboard. They're 1 round off of, you know, Warriors Black, and I'm definitely seeing them kind of really finding their own in this map of Lotus. You know, the Prowler going through, but it's going to be that take towards C, but no, they're going to back it off as, you know, a lot of YouTube being used, a lot of space being taken, and that's going to be regress towards A side. And on A, you only have the Viper lying in wait, but sometimes that could be all they need. As now rushing over to A, can they hold it down?
I think they're gonna try one way or another. We have the Odin out.
Kill
That's
contract.
another kill contract. Pivers was a little bit suppressed, but the double tap was already involved. Justin still wins out though. That's a huge boon. Once again, we've been waiting for a chance for Warriors to gather some, but as soon as you come right back out of that zone, it's a loss as Topside wins. It's down to a 4v4. HP low on the fade though, so it is going to be a relatively difficult retake here. We'll see if they can pull it off. Pork around the corner. Inside of the smoke says, I can pull this off. 3-1 position. If they can get in the mix. P trying to send out a little bit of a blind. Not going to find anyone. Topsack's waiting for someone in that corner. But they're going to dash on in, and they forget to check fully. GGG gets a clean 2. And it's a wash as we are now tied at 8-8.
Guys, we've got to repeat this. We got to clear our corners, and we just seen unclear corners have, I feel like, majority of the reason why you have a lot of deaths in Val, at least for me. My personal experience, if I don't clear a corner and just like, it should be no one there, I end up dying. But yeah, that is definitely unfortunate for DeQuavius Park there, but a beautiful hold coming in from the side of Western. They able to even out the scoreboards, but at the same time, be very decisive, knowing that, hey, we spent a little too long towards this A push, so we got to rotate over towards B. And I think that's really what sealed the deal for that last round. But evening out, they're now trying to pull through and get that advantage of 1 round over and bring that momentum shift in their favor.
I mean, Western are showing up here, and I'm very, very excited. Arav waiting around the corner, though. And in this little piece of the puzzle, you see another smoke team deployed, double smokes, and now it's trying to threaten with a little bit of that walk, trying to give a little bit of info or gather any sort of intel. You know someone's in that corner at this point. Will it be enough? Right now, we can see the entirety of this roster of Arav and friends saying we're going to try and take a chance on the C side. We haven't hit it yet, and it could be the main change up here. It could be the big factor that gives them an edge to finally take the lead in this for the first time in the series. Eyes out, though. As you can see, huge info gathered as all three were on top. Those a hard rush back in Western, making their way to towards A.
That eye was so huge to get that 3 on site to go for that rotate towards A, and now it's going to be Trill with the Sheriff to try to find one, but not quite. It's going to be the Shears, and the spams are good for Doggo. I think he saw him through the smoke there in the gap. It's going to be the sprays again as a Rob gets a kill onto Justin. Sheriff on the hands of Swashy. Can he find one? Not quite, as he's getting dropped down. P and DeQuavius both get theirs, and Swashy onto Doggo, and it's a 2v2 all of a sudden, but Fiver's lying in wait towards Heaven gets one. They know where the last one is, and Fivers again. Beautiful ending for a 9-8, and now Western are above for the first time. They're ahead in rounds, and they're really showing through that, you know, they deserve this position in the grand finals.
It's such a weird shift as well. All 5 of their attacking side rounds have been victories, which back in the semis, it was a complete opposite shift. Their defensive was stellar going out there against, and this time around it's a shift, and now they're saying we're in control. Now, granted, not a lot of weaponry in that previous round, not for the side of Warriors. Now we get to see the full gun round. Now it might be a little more spicy, but I mean, Western are doing so good, and Pivot specifically really stepping out to play, winning a lot of these gun duels, winning these 1v1s if necessary. Can you hide around the box though? Pork was ready and sprays down a Rob. Up goes the twin walls, and that allows Pivers to get the lineup.
Yeah, we said consistency is key. Pivers was a little bit inconsistent towards that Haven side, but now he's literally warming up to his role as a duelist and really fragging out for the team. Beautiful picks coming through, 1-for-1. And again, with DeQuavius Pork out, that is the duelist down too, but they still have plenty of util to use on this defense side that have, you know, Warriors Gold are still pretty, you know, pretty comfortable. But as look at the amount of space, look at the defaults coming through for Western. They're now heading towards that A side again, and A has been working for them. So I do like this decision making that they're doing. You know, they have been faking a lot for C, and that's a Nightfall to, you know, grab some information. Prowler's gonna get them down, but no, again, beautiful decision making coming from Western, as now they're pivoting towards that C side. Beautiful fake on that ult, but they don't know that Justin has the timing onto Pivers, and yes, that is the kill. Can he find a second one? Not quite, but he's on site to provide some backup and push off of the attackers as Dog goes for plant, but P is able to get the kill to GGG. Really well done, and that is some util. Justin again onto Doggo, and last one standing Stacks was not able to find anything as P shuts him down. A very, very good round for Warriors back to even out those numbers, but an even better round from Justin.
I mean, Justin specifically making sure to have great trigger discipline. And not only that, again, finding out Pivers, whether you were gunning for that or not, keeping track of where Pivers is, who is currently on fire, in my opinion, you need to track them. There are a lot of times where, you know, teams actively chase one target, you know, saying, hey, they're on fire, we need to shut them down. We know Pivers is going to be running a little bit hot. Hey, we take them out very cleanly. It was a great convergence onto the C site. As you mentioned, Western were making the right moves, but some light left in Warriors' eyes. They're not going to fall too far behind. Now you have a little bit more gun control. If you do this one more time, all of a sudden it's Western that are going to be in a little bit awkward purchasing spot. They still have plenty to buy for the next round, though.
Oh, it's DeQuavius again. So aggressive, but so well played on that micro ability. The high-low, it's going to be a trade. Pivers, Swashy, but they know one person is there left, and that's going to be the kill onto Swashy. Unfortunate for that Rolling Thunder, but no, 3v3. They know where they are. It's a beautiful pick again from DeQuavius Pork, and the Seal Guard is going to proc, but didn't quite proc on time for, you know, that kill earlier on the B main side, and that's going to be a pivot towards a 2v3 bunched up together. But do they know that Trill is lying in wait on the A side? A has been working for them, but I don't know. The numbers are spread. They need to play together, isolate these ones, as Doggo and GGG are just struggling to find a way to enter any of these sites.
I think at this point for Western, You're feeling the heat a little bit, but I like this call to go all the way through CT, take the long route, force a potential split through a majority members of the Warriors Gold. And for Warriors, they are the ones that are going to be a little bit late to the party. Take a look at where the Fade currently is, all the way still on A's site. It's going to be a long haul all the way back. I don't really like this push in from Justin. Justin, I don't like how you're going kind of alone. And yeah, you're soloed out. It's just, that felt a little bit greedy. GGG even being able to live after that smoke goes down. And what could have been a 3v2 instead is a 2v2 with very awkward positioning. GGG and the rest of the squad are ready to go.
Doggo just have a paranoia, gonna get the paranoia ready for that take as well as the smoke. Just waiting for that timing. It's gonna push him back a little bit. You also got the eye, a little bit of information, but it's gonna able to buy a little bit more time. The tick-tock on the clock, the bomb is gonna explode, and they need to find something, and they each do as the Queen Sport secures a third. And that is again Warriors Gold back on top.
Honestly, very impressive that they were able to find the 2 kills. I think one of the glances over there to Connector was like a random swing. Honestly, the fact that both of them were looking in the right direction is huge, but that was way too close for comfort yet again. Seeing a 3v2 and then, you know, Justin pushing it on their own, it's scary. It's scary, but granted, those are some of the moves that you have to make. Western, though, again, every single one of these previous rounds, even though it's been you know, not in their favor, it's been amazingly close. They should be extremely proud of where they've been. Now they need that extra push. Pivers, once again, standing at the top. This time has a kill contract available. Look for him to chase for one, and the rest of the team to push behind it to go ahead and try and clear out the site. Double tap up and available, and there they go once again on the mount.
Pivers seem real confident. He does have kill control once again. Double tap's gonna expire, so he's gonna try to go kidnap someone. Does end up kidnapping one person, and it's gonna be Pivers versus the Omen looking for, and does get that clean kill onto P, and that opens up the site a little bit more. But again, Dimension Drift on the rocks. Oh my god, he can spot them. He knows where they are and trying to back them out. But it's gonna be the Viper Spit, and DeQuavius Port, the timing and the positioning and in and out. He is a madman, and he is gone. As now the attackers, Western, are now being forced onto that A side once again. Trill lying in wait towards the boxes. Can he secure one? Oh
no
my
one was
God.
looking. No one was looking, and Trill pulls off a 2K. GGG, maybe kicking themselves a little bit as that rush was the right call, but you forgot to check all your corners, and it hurts. It so hurts. GGG, though, about to do the exact same. Find Swashy, look in the wrong direction, but now you're giving yourself up. Now everyone knows where you're at. 26 and 89. You can do some damage. Low HP right now onto Port. If you find Justin, find that larger HP member, you are good. For the side of Port, though, you're just hoping that a sound is made. 13 seconds left. You know you got to get the plan down. And that's the danger. You know now. The entirety of the Warriors know. Hard plant, hard stick. Are you going to have eyes out? Deep left and right, by the way. This is the right call, but is it going to be enough? GGG waiting, sends out a little bit of an eye. Looks like curtain is open, and Justin wants to find that kill. Peak, shouting out. GGG wins. And still has 76 HP to boot. But the shot rings out from Pork with 3 HP and a 3K. Pushes the rest of Warriors to 11.
What an amazing round. Such a close round there for GGG. You know, I wonder if, you know, you could have secured that round with a Nightfall. I feel like at that point you might want to go for, you know, a Nightfall to kind of, you know, be able to cut off all those senses and provide a little bit more. But unfortunately, just the Quavius Pork, even with just if you sneeze on this guy, he would have died. He still ended up living and securing that round. But now going this next round, you got 3 also available for the side of the Warriors. Got the Nightfall again. You also got the Neon Ult as well as the Omen Ult 2. So this could provide for a really fast retake angle for when they want to hit a site. And you know, Western is not quite able to respond in turn with the amount of ults they have. A little beautiful spray coming there from the DeQuavius Port. That's gonna force a Rov off of those angles. And it's 26 health left on the bar, and they're going back for that 8. I'm not gonna lie, I really want them to just go for a fast 8 take here.
It's hard to rush it, say screw it.
Yeah, they really just been going in and out of like B and C, and there's a lot of information, which is fine, that's great. But like their A takes have been so strong as a 5-member group. When you're cut down to 2 or 3, it just makes that it's so much harder to take the side. Nightfall's going to get procced, and that's going to be some information towards the A main side. But I don't know. I feel it's too little, too late to go for an A push now.
I mean, maybe a hard A push, but what they do have in their eyes is the fact that Top Stacks was able to find a first blood, looking for another. P is able to answer, but it's still a 4v4. Maybe as he called, it's a little bit of danger, but if this last resounding move works, it's going to be a whole different story as Pork with the peak finds the kill. That is huge work right there. Once again, it is the side of the Warriors' goal to kind of shut down this slow push. And hey, maybe you're right. Maybe we should have seen that 5-man shove, because now they are being picked off one by one. Warriors completely surrounding Western and saying, you're not getting this one. We're going to be going to match point soon. P sees the barrel, and it's a 3v&a 4v1.
Yeah, it's just hard, and you're just dancing around those bullets as Doggo is not able to find anything onto the Quavis Pork. That is going to be 9-12 match point for the Warriors Black. Waterloo are really doing an amazing job providing that pressure, you know, with the Quavis Pork kind of pushing out from the C side, knows that there's pressure towards, you know, CT, you know, they can't really, they're just kind of like pushing them towards sites where there's more defenders on, and they're just really manipulating, you know, Western in just a masterful way. But again, I really just want to see this 5-man push on A. They've won so many of these attack rounds for the side of Western whenever they went for a full push on A with 5 people. But every single time that they decide to rotate from C to A or B to A, losing players in the kind of process, their kind of hold afterwards is just so weak.
Right now, it's all hands on deck. You don't have any ults to play with. It is time to do some work, and Doggo might be making it. They heard you. They heard you, Z-Lion. All 5 rushing their way towards A site. Maybe not as fast as we assumed, but fast enough, in my opinion. That's going to be the plan. GGG seeing someone
I
in
like
the back
it.
corner. P, though, answering back and at least finding one, so it's a 3v4. Justin, though, ready and said, hey, we saw this coming from at least a couple feet away and might have another bubble. GGG down in the corner, though, getting shocked down as that's a slide. P, though, picks that one up. Topsack answers back in the 2v2 position. P, though, wants to shut this down. And Justin jumps in from the backside. Makes it even the Topsack.
Let's go!
Forces them to yet another, as that's a 3K for the Vice.
I love what I was seeing there. Thank you. You know, like, are they in chat right now? Like, honestly, they're literally doing exactly what they do best. The A push has been detrimental for the defense side of, you know, of the Warriors. So the way that Western was able to maneuver that round was incredible, despite the amount of ults being used against their favor. Look at the amount of ults. They used 2 ults there. I know there was the Neon ult, you have the Nightfall as well. So that, what a masterful play. And I really want to see that being replicated. But at the same time, knowing that their A kind of hold is really weak, they're stacking full towards A now. And I'm looking for Western to make more of a decisive kind of choice to push either side and not really go for defaults, because I think defaults is where they really fall short.
I agree. In that test, Justin though. Again, Top Stacks though. Huge first blood yet again. In that mid. This has now been about the 3rd time they've been able to hold us off, which is amazing for them. No fast push over towards A though. They're gonna try and check out this B position as neatly as possible. Will it work though is the question. There's a little bit of that smoke, sending it down and into that steel garden. So a lot of still actually being expended here in more ways than one, and almost nothing gathered. So you burn a couple ults, you burn a lot of information, and now it's down to the gunplay. Justin finds one, shoulders seen by Pork, rushing on in with the blazing bullet, but you don't look for that. And Justin though finds another piece. It's down to a 2v2. We've been here, we've seen this song and dance. At this point, it's on repeat. We are a broken record and a half. P though looks the other direction, sees a gun, sees another, and that's P to find the kill. It's down to a 2v1, spike in hand, but the chase is on. GGG though, making sure to see no one's on the back side. This is the spice of life, Z-Lion. This is what we're here for.
It took too long to rotate. You gotta really find something, and GGG is just trying to find these ones. But with the Prowler is gonna get out this information right away, and he is not looking too hot and clean right now as they're being pushed through. And yes, that is match set point for Warriors Black. 2-0 clean sweep. As now with a 13-10 finish, congratulations, your grand finals winners for this year's CIE 2025 Valorant tournament is going to be Waterloo Warriors Black. Once again, congratulations.
Crazy stuff in there, crazy at the end. And you know what, hey, listen, Warriors, you showed up in map 1, huge 13-1 nasty map. Give credit where credit is due. That was Western coming back with a vengeance, a 13-10, nearly as close to an OT as we could possibly go. Huge improvements right there, and very, very respectable. Shout out to wow, my brain is not working right now.
It's okay.
I think Trav, the Omen there was going extremely hard in the last few rounds for Western.
I gotta say, I feel like the biggest difference, and I think that last round really kind of highlighted the difference between these teams, is Western is really hesitant on these kind of rotates. And, you know, especially at the last round, when you see that Paranoia being burned towards B main, when you see that your Steel Garden was procced and you got pushed back by Paranoia, you have the Viper Ball and the Viper Molly there, you gotta decide to rotate faster. You can't just stay there for that long. And because of that, they were kind of caught with their pants down, and they got a couple picks down, and their numbers are thinned out, leaving GGG in that 1v2 situation. But yeah, once again, the macro and micro plays coming from Warriors Black though really shone through, and this is why they are the winners for this year. They've shown why they deserve this spot in the grand finals, but why they also deserve the trophy for this year. And again, such an amazing job, and I don't know what else to say, but what a series.
I loved every single moment of it. Every single moment of it. And we get an interview as well with Justin, which is going to be so much fun. Before we go ahead and go to the interview, though, I want to give a short shout out over to some of our sponsors here, which you might hear a little bit more about in the future, of course. Strawberry and Egg, of course, making affordable, large video, and sometimes large, video game and anime themed plushies. And go ahead and check them out on Instagram at Strawberry and Egg, or message them on Discord at Ridelia, which is RIDDLELIA, which is awesome. And then Solaris, of course, also being another amazing sponsor. They helped make the charity showcase earlier today happen. Also to BMO, shout out to BMO, always being an amazing sponsor here at the CIE. With that being said, we are going to go to a short break. When we come back, we get a little bit of an inside look to how the Warriors came about to the victory here today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We are set to go with a little bit of an interview, which we are happy to watch and see. Welcome to the desk, Justin, one of the members of the Waterloo Warriors Gold, with that victory. Stellar job, although map 2 was a little spicy. Justin, how are you feeling after that victory?
Feeling pretty good. We're really confident going into it. All 3 days, like, we were just trying to get back our feel. It's been a while since we played a match, especially with like summer coming in. Everyone was like kind of separated from the gaming scene, but coming back together, we're just trying to get our groove back. And we knew like once we had our 5, we were ready to win.
Congratulations once again. And on my end, I mean, you guys did such an amazing job for map 1 on Haven, 13-1. Was there any doubt that you guys were going to absolutely blow that map out of the park, or did you guys do some practice, had to do a little planning, a little kind of testing in the customs, or did you guys just go in with just full confidence, just like, we'll just play whatever we're comfortable with and just go with it?
Yeah, so our team has like a lot of experience in Haven. I think it used to be historically one of our stronger maps. During the second semester, we kind of did like a meta change with the double duelist comp. That kind of put our confidence down. But recently, we're just like, let's go back to the basics. We're strong in our roles. We're really confident in what we could do on each map. And just looking at it as well, like, we trust each other a lot. So like going for those individual plays, getting our kills, and just kind of playing safe, it's something that we've like ingrained in ourselves. Recently, we haven't really practiced like at all because everyone was busy, but we trust each other in that map. So just showing that on defense kind of just made the rest of the game easy, but the series as well.
And my final question is, the prize money. You guys did end up winning first place, so it's a healthy chunk of money. Like, what are you guys going to each do with your portion of money? What are you going to do? Is it going to be a Divergent skin bundle buying angle, or is it going to be like a hot pot angle? Like, what are we going to do with the money?
Could be a hot pot angle, could be a QB angle. We didn't really get to do like a big dinner at the end for last semester. So like, now that we have the time, I mean, this just pays it off, right? So it's pretty good. I can't speak
a man of culture.
Yeah.
A man of culture, honestly. QB, I love that shout out.
Yeah.
Back to you, Orbital.
Of course. And I mean, listen, we know you were busy. We know that you got some prize money to spend. So I'll just go ahead and ask you, Justin, do you have any words to any of your new fans, maybe some old fans, or anyone that you'd like to give a lot of shout outs to, maybe someone that's helped you along the way throughout this tournament or in your career so far?
I guess like shout out to like all Waterloo staff and all the teammates, like Waterloo Black, even Waterloo White. I mean, Waterloo Valorant overall has like a really good like community when it comes to like playing with each other, like learning from each other, and that makes like pursuing esports in collegiate like a lot more fun. It's definitely something that like it's always bringing me back to like playing the game. Despite like the rank scene and how everyone feels about it, like collegiate is something that I can always like go all focus on, and my teammates especially. All of them, we're all really energetic, we're all really passionate, so it's always easier when you have that kind of like-minded mindset within the team, and that's not something that like I had to cultivate. Everyone went in strong going forward, so it's just good to have that.
Of course. Again, Justin, congratulations on the victory to you and Waterloo Warriors Black on your 2-0 victory here in the grand finals. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you, and thank you guys for casting.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Yeah, Z-Line, what'd you think overall? What did you think of the entirety of the CIE as well as the Valorant side? I mean, it was a lot of fun, right?
I mean, being involved in not just Valorant, he's got a bunch of panels, producing for those, as well as, being a panelist myself. I feel like CIE is really much the culmination of what you see within the collegiate space, as well as esports industry in general. The amount of passion, and again, this is all volunteer work, ladies and gentlemen. So the amount of the production value, as well as all these casters that you see, we are all working because we love esports. And I think, CIE as this project, how successful it is really kind of the passion project for all. And I'm just so happy to be part of it. And, I don't know, what about for you? Like, did you enjoy CIE? How's your experience? Because I know this is not your first year for CIE either. You've been here for a little bit too.
Yeah, I have. It's been a wonderful experience. I got to cover so many different titles. Valorant, I think Marvel Rivals. I did Overwatch 2 as well, and just seeing all the fun players like Justin, who has obviously very kind to be here on the desk. So I loved every single moment of it, and getting to work with all the students as well as all those hoping to come up in the ranks, and also those experienced and on the panels sharing their insights and all. We want to give a big shout out to every staff member that's also helped out, but that is not the end here, because there is a closing ceremony here shortly with Redelia as well as Ghoulies, I believe, to give some thoughts, some heartfelt thanks out there as well. So don't go anywhere. The CIE will be right back with the closing ceremony.